Here's how to do the push, lift, tuck series. How much or how far you go into this series will depend on what we talked about during the session. So only do the parts that you're instructed to do in your home exercise program. So what you're gonna do is start by lying on your stomach and propping yourself up on your elbows. If this is painful, what you want to do is to put a pillow under your hips, because sometimes your hip flexors are a little short and it can pull on your low back and create some pain. Make sure your elbows are under your shoulders. Push wrists through your forearms. So the wrists get the lower part of the shoulder blades, the forearms get the upper. You want to be looking gently at your thumbs as you breathe here. So the key here is to be able to get as big of an exhale as possible without sinking or rounding in your upper back. So for about 30 seconds, you're just going to do some breathing here, in through your nose and out through your mouth, drawing your ribs in together as you do that. And then from here, there's some movements that we tend to add to work on getting the upper back to stay extended, the diaphragm to completely pull the ribs down and in together, get optimal activation of the abdominals, and to help lengthen those hip flexors. So some other movements that we do is relaxing into the forearms and letting your shoulder blades sink, and then press away. So the tendency is, while you do that motion, is to want for the upper back to want to round as you come back up. So you want to think about lifting through the chest, tucking your chin just gently. You don't want to be kind of cranking on it. And just release the press and push away. Release the press and push away without rounding your upper back. Another motion that we'll add on to this is the chin tuck. So a firm fiddlehead, one spine level at a time, with the target being right at your sternum, and then uncurling back to neutral, one level at a time. And again, the tendency is to want to round into that. Don't let that happen. Stay lifted here and only curl the chin one level at a time. Now another variation is for activating the multifidus, which is the muscle in the back. Maintaining your push, lift an elbow up, lift an elbow up. The tendency is to want to let the hips to swivel back and forth. Make sure you're pressing your hips and tucking your tailbone, keeping your abs activated as you unweight one side and unweight the other, and don't let your shoulders shift. One last variation is to pick up the tension in the quads, here and here. So sometimes the quads and hip flexors are so dominant that it pulls the low back into extension. So we're picking up all the slack and doing some of these movements along with it to train the multifidus. Only work at the level that you were instructed to work at on your sheet. Don't do these other ones unless you were told to.